Good morning from Osaka, Japan. It's a still and humid championship morning here at the 2012 WIFDIF World Ultimate and Guts Championships. In the gold medal match for the women's division, we have San Francisco's Fury representing for Team USA up against Team Japan. For Next Gen Networks, I'm Lou Burris.
And I'm Chase Sparling-Beckley.
Chase, this is an awesome matchup and a repeat from a pool play game that Japan won 16-14.
And in that game, Lou, Japan really took advantage of the turnovers that Fury gave them and didn't cough it back up. I think you and I both thought that in that game, Fury had almost a lackadaisical attitude.
As they did throughout pool play.
And I think that may have been a strategic or just a chemistry adjustment that they made, knowing that really that pool play game was only to set seeding. Once they got into the elimination round, they have been a monster.
And they showed that. They lost to Canada in pool play. Team USA did. But then when they came back and played Canada in semifinals, they absolutely destroyed them 17-10.
In this game, Lou, what should we expect to see? Who are the big names on this Japanese roster?
Well, Hidai Edi, number 11, was unstoppable in that matchup with Team USA earlier. Incredibly quick, so good at operating as a handler in front of the disc, running give and goes, running little cutback moves to the inside out. Once she catches the disc there with her marker either trailing or on the wrong side, she is then able to use pinpoint throws to move the disc downfield.
Great distributor. On the USA side,
great distributors as well.
Absolutely, and we should expect to see number 4, Alex Snyder. She's sitting at 13 right now on the leaderboard.
With 27 assists.
Total points, and 27 of those are assists. She's a huge gun with the disc. A little bit more of a balanced attack coming from number 19, Georgia Boscher. She's number 30 right now on the leaderboard. And a big part of why there's only those two names on this USA team is that, in fact, they have a very balanced attack. There are tons of players on this roster that can throw goals, that can attack with their legs. It will be very interesting to see how USA uses that deep athletic roster to combat some of the confusing defenses that Japan can bring.
Japan, unlike Team Canada that wants to play hard-nosed D, Japan plays almost a 1.5 style D where you're covering your person, but you're constantly looking to slough off into the middle of the field and shrink throwing lanes. And when we talked with Coach Zhang before the game, Fury's approach is to move the disc to the sidelines and attack from the sidelines where it's easier to identify where the poach is coming from.
The poach is only going to come from one side.
And the pull. Faharo to Snyder. We see that 1.5 right away from the Japanese. Boscher. Howard. Open. A crowd gathers. Howard falls for a goal.
Great concentration by Cree Howard. Falling away. A big throw by Georgia Boscher. Not as pinpoint as we have seen from her. But when you have a big athlete like Cree Howard running away, you got to go. With big steps, you got to throw that
Here's
throw.
The throw, and and Howard's wide open.
Great adjustment.
Great catch.
USA 1-0.
Star power from USA. Snyder, Boscher, Howard.
I'm curious to see how Japan responds here. You know, we're in a final. The stands here are packed. There's a ton of support for the Japanese home side.
When we arrived at 8 o'clock this morning to prep, there were already Japanese fans in the stands.
For a 10:30 game. And right now they're packed. I mean, clearly home turf, predominantly Japanese supporters here.
You can see they've got the Nippon fans show their support.
I'm curious to see how Japan responds here, both to what should be an enormous amount of pressure from the USA, as well as pressure kind of from their home side. You know, there's a lot of expectations being put on this Japanese women's team.
On the entire Japanese ultimate program, and the men losing to Sweden on a windy day, they've kind of put everything on the women. Fujikawa. Inamura. You can see Hidai operating out in front. Defended by Damon. Hidai on the sideline. Basher on the reset D. Fujikawa reaching deep. Ito!
Really nice throw. Great closing speed by Ito.
Great patience from the Japanese offense. They never were able to get up and running, and so instead they worked the disc laterally, and then Ito. Too much speed. Great throw from Fujikawa. 1-1.
One of the things that I think you often see from Japanese sides at any level is just incredible technical ability. That throw was pinpoint. It used enough float to get out in front of the speedy Ito and allow her to run onto it. But you see just wonderful form, great footwork, using her whole trunk to get out there and get the disc out on a platter for the speedy receiver.
Second D point for Japan. Yonehara with the pull. Sun to Finney. Casey. Bowen, no. Casey comes through. Finney, Fury from the sideline. Finney beats the 1.5. Samishima on the mark, marking Sun. Finney, Jorgensen. Sun free. Casey. Japanese poaching all over the field. Hand block Japan.
And they're off and running.
Yonehara. First break opportunity.
Foul called. USA did a phenomenal job there of recognizing the turn and picking up on defense. That's a point that is going to be big for them, I think, if they can sustain that through the game, because Japan's so deadly when they get out running. If you give them those first 2 passes without any pressure,
that leading pass,
it's so hard to stop once they're moving.
You see number 15, Moriyuki, running deep. Captain for Team Japan, she did not play throughout pool play at this tournament. And a huck. Too far for Otsu. Finney right away. Casey on the far side of the field. Sun. Finney. Casey. That sagging D really slowing the U.S. attack. Finney. Clancy. Sharman. Jorgensen in space. Back to Sun. Casey. Textbook dump swing from Team USA. Sun. US very deep here. Jorgensen. Huck looking for Sharman on the weak side. Sharman!
Goal USA.
2-1.
Kayla Jorgensen really staring down the field for a long time there, and they attacked in a way that coach saying kind of led us to believe that they were going to get away from, which is up the middle of the field.
I think they had to. I thought they were being really patient, but when they got the disc to the sidelines, particularly out here on the on the backhand side, the near side of the field, the mark was taking away the motion down the side. The conditions really helping the Americans play patient ultimate.
Once again, not so much wind here. It hasn't rained yet this morning, but the air very humid.
Very still.
And I think for a thrower, that humidity adds consistency to the way that the disc moves, and certainly for the receiver as well.
Some good things, but also some worrisome things there for Team USA. Their cutters really stalled out, and they went to something that has gotten them in trouble earlier in this tournament, which is using a throw to create an opening instead of using their legs to create an opening. It works for them with Jorgensen finding Sharman, but not an ideal offensive possession from Team USA.
I'm not sure they're used to having to throw quite so many passes as an offense. It's almost as though in other games, certainly against Team Canada, with the hard-nosed defense,
they can just go down the field.
Yeah, at a certain point, there's going to be either a turnover or a goal within the first 10, 15 passes.
Fujikawa, Sumeshima. Looks off Hidai. Fujikawa. Sumeshima. Very soft mark from Liz Penny. Ito. Namakiri. Hidai. Hidai again. The give and go from Hidai. They go for it, and it's a goal. Fujikawa to Hidai. That give and go move, so deadly.
She certainly has it perfected. I think especially on the backhand side.
Yes.
If she can throw that open side dump,
and then she's
the markers on her back, her quickness is just,
and
I mean, she is just
Narayan.
such an explosive athlete. Narayan not, I mean, an
Fast.
equally explosive.
And knows the move's coming.
Yeah, and I almost think equally explosive athletes right there, but the marker's on your back.
Yeah.
When you're throwing the backhand to the open side, the marker's on your back. It almost doesn't matter if you take off at the same, I mean, if you take off at the same time, equal athleticism.
You have the step.
You have the step.
I thought that Team USA missed a chance for a poach block there because Fujikawa threw that without checking for the poaches out of the stack.
Right on the end zone there.
Right on the end zone. Everybody knows that Hidai wants to run that move. Why not bring somebody out? When you look and you see Hidai with the disc, you hear the up call on that swing, why not come down into the lane?
And they are very willing, the Japanese offense, to throw that to tight windows. They have a lot of faith in Hidai on that move. They will certainly throw it without necessarily checking down to see if that poach is coming.
Team USA, zone set from Japan. Fajardo finds Snyder through the gap. Over the top to Fajardo. Boscher, no trouble for USA. Zone resets, far side to Damon. Snyder. Huck weak side, Howard again. Howard. Too easy.
Too easy. On that one, USA did something that we have highlighted before in previous broadcasts as almost a classic Japanese soft spot.
The weak side.
The weak side. And, you know, Alex Snyder, such a great thrower, mechanically and with great vision.
Yeah.
Howard just sneaks into that soft spot.
Well, the deep for Japan has to respect the strong side, because if she doesn't, it's going to be a goal. Howard has drifted deep on the weak side. The weak side wing for Japan
should be dropping.
Really what she needs to, when she sees Snyder catch it in that position on the sideline, she has to go into containment mode, drop out, and at least shrink the space that Howard has to operate.
And get big enough that Snyder at least looks at her.
Ideally, you're trying to get Snyder not to throw it. Let the cup reset. Tough to play zone today with these conditions, though.
2 goals already for Cree Howard.
Yep. Bosher with the pull. Very veteran line for the United States on D. Puck, A1 in pursuit. Great D by Fletcher, coming off the weak side. Travel call. Fletcher with the disc. Finds Finney. Alicia White running deep. White. Great explosion to the disc. Snyder up the line. Bosher. Looks off Bowen. Snyder. Finney. Snyder. Dump swing from the U.S. Looking to isolate Bowen in the front of the stack. Back to Finney. Snyder. The Japanese sagging in the lane to contain the 3-1-3 in-zone offense of Team USA. Sun. Finney. Inomata poaching. Snyder. The conditions great for this patient offense. Bosher. Back corner. Fletcher, did she hold on to it? No.
She did not.
That's the right choice from Georgia Bosher. She just left the throw a little short.
A little
Fletcher
short.
Couldn't come up with it. Should have had it.
Tough break, USA. Inamura is calling for a new disc. That one just tacoed on the last play.
Sneaky player, Inamura. She's not on the leaderboard for Japan as an assist or goals leader. So many touches for the handler. Fujikawa. Inamura, defended by Finney. Fujikawa. Snyder poaching herself. Fujioka dropped. Finney quickly in transition. Snyder. Team USA looking for a break. Great transition D from Japan. Bosher. Too far for White. 2 miscues from Georgia Bosher at this point.
I think she's looking potentially at the right shots.
I like both those choices.
Just
sometimes with
not
Georgia
connecting.
Bosher, it's a little live by the sword, die by the sword situation. She can throw some absolutely sensational stuff. But historically, she's been prone to stretches of turnovers.
She might have been throwing that one in the wind that USA played in this tournament, in this stadium against Canada.
Fujioka wants a timeout. 3rd offensive possession for Japan. This point, Team USA missing on 2 shots into the end zone. We're going to take a break for a message from our sponsors, Elemental Technology and 5 Ultimate. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the 2012 With Diff World Ultimate and Guts Championships. For Next Gen Ultimate, I'm Lou.
And I'm Chase.
Early action in the first half of the women's finals. Team USA up 3-2 on Japan.
Let's take a look at some of this Japanese saggy defense.
Right here, they're sagging in the middle and making that upfield throwing lane so hard to access.
And we see it come from several different locations.
From the handlers.
From the handlers and the cutters. It's almost just, it's interjecting enough confusion that USA doesn't really know what they're looking at.
But Japan's on offense. Christy Bowen with a nice D. That's 2 weak side Ds on Hucks for Team USA. This point, 3rd break opportunity for the Americans. Christy Bowen goes up high. Well defended by Inomata.
Foul called.
I don't like that foul call. Just play.
She got it.
She got it.
USA's on the move.
Snyder can't get Bosher. Sun. Again, that sagging D from the Japanese, constraining the American in-zone offense. Bosher on the sideline. Snyder's open as Sun is double teamed. Now Hirai releases. Sun. White. Japan poaching to protect the cone corner. Snyder. Fletcher is open in the back of the end zone if someone wants to hit her. Sun. Snyder. Patience from the Americans. She's got Bosher on the weak side. There it is. Break, USA. 4-2. Great D, great defensive stand by Team Japan. Great patience by the Americans.
You know what I love about that USA offense? Yes, it's patient.
Yeah.
I thought we saw a little bit more movement using their legs and attacking by the handler set.
And the adjustment that they made late in the point is they bring everybody over to the strong side. Right now they're all spread, and that allows the Japanese to poach everywhere. But as this disc comes to Snyder in the middle of the field, you'll see everybody has moved to the strong side, and there's a huge space for Bosher. Great adjustment.
Great adjustment.
And the Japanese fans pouring energy on the field. They're saying, let's go, let's go, let's go, Japan.
All in unison. A tough kind of double-edged sword, though, for the Japanese women. A lot of energy.
A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure and expectation there.
The Japanese offense, so reliant on those weak side hucks. The Americans, 2 Ds on weak side help. One from Fletcher, one from Bowen. Great reads by those 2 defenders. They're leaving as the Japanese cutter is leaving, doing a really great job. Film work, game study, and being prepared to get the block. Second break opportunity for the US if they can get a turn. Fujikawa with the disc. Hirai defended by Damon. Subeshima. Fujikawa. Subeshima, Sachiko. Hirai. Namakiri on the sideline, defended by Jorgensen. Hirai, spin move. Inamura. Too far. Liz Penny there to protect the end zone.
Great D there by Narayan. She actually slips on the other side of the field. Great closing speed to come up and stop that angle going up line.
Penny. Back to Faharo. Again, that sagging defense of the Japanese. Emily Damon wide open on the far side of the field.
I think we're going to see a fast count call here.
Tough one across the language barrier. Discussion. So the Japanese D here is doing a fold-up defense where the near side handler defender drops into the lane, and Hirai, who's covering Damon, will drop down, and it makes a cup where they're man-to-manning on the near handler and leaving the far side handler open. It's a little hard to see how it works here because Sherwood has slipped up field for the Americans into that set, but essentially it's a little zone set, and then it gives Hirai, if she's quick, can check down and cover Damon. Narayan to Jorgensen on the sideline. Damon. Narayan in traffic. Size for the Americans. Over Fujikawa, Penny. She's got Jorgensen. Hammer to Jorgensen, back line. Kayla Jorgensen, Liz Penny. USA 5, Japan 2. 2 breaks in a row from the Americans.
Such a veteran stand-up throw from Liz Penny. The mark was doing everything she could to cut off that open side. Wide open Jorgensen in the back of the end zone. Liz Penny just stands it up.
And it's
checks one, checks two, rips the hammer.
Size for the Americans making the difference. Liz Penny, so big and so tall. Narayan, too big for Fujikawa. And what we see is on the catch the size, and then Sameshima's not able to get any pressure on that handler on the hammer from Liz Penny. With Jorgensen that open, the marker has to be able to get pressure to stop that.
And that's absolutely a strategic advantage here for Team USA. I love that they're using that advantage in this game so far.
Okay. No timeout for Japan. They've gone into a full huddle here. But they're going to play through this little run by the United States. USA up 5-2. Really getting everything they want.
I want to go back, Lou, really quickly to that cup that you were talking about before.
Like that fold-up cup.
The fold-up cup.
Yeah.
What that really needs to take advantage of is the cadence of the handler offense.
Yeah.
Because it's saggy, and then it's anticipating when that thrower is going to look and try and hit the swing and jumping with that anticipation. USA doing a fabulous job of changing their handler cadence.
Yeah.
In this game versus previous games we've seen. They threw on stall 2 and 3 to the handlers instead of 5, 6, 7. And I think that's allowing that swing to go off.
Fujikawa. Fujioka. Junk from the Americans. Liz Penny on the mark. And a huge block on the sideline by Emily Damon. Sticks with Idai. Ness Fajaro. Penny. Jorgensen streaking deep. Fajaro, the American offense settles down. High back in this, no foul call. Great block by Ito, saving a runaway opportunity for the United States. Fujioka. Ishitsu. Fujikawa controlling the disc, defended by Sherwood. Idai defended by Jorgensen. Fujioka to Idai on the give and go move.
Nice.
Idai on the doorstep. Inside out. Idai. Ito. 5-3. Japan dodged a
huge bullet.
You see the block by Damon. Incredible D. And then Idai up the line.
Great footwork here to move the much larger Kayla Jorgensen around,
and that
freeing up the easy inside out back in.
Tito. So strong in the short field. Ness Fajaro got point block there to give the disc back to Japan. However, her handling skills as a lefty, I think, are going to be essential to defeating this Japanese junk, because she can get that high backhand off, and it's an unusual look. Like defenses, particularly junk defenses, that are anticipating and reacting to what other teams do, key in on patterns. And when you have a left-handed thrower, the pattern changes. In that case, credit Fujioka with a great block. We're going to see it right here. Great block by Fujioka.
Just the wherewithal to keep her hands high.
And the Japanese do a nice job on all their marks of just bringing their hands up, bringing them down, being very active. Japan on D. 5-3. Yonehara with the pull. Nazarov to Snyder up the line. To Howard again. Howard from Snyder. Cree Howard having her way with the Japanese right now.
Definitely. But that whole play set up by just an ankle breaker
by Alex
from Alex Snyder.
And again, tendencies in that case getting the better of the Japanese. Alex Snyder has been get the dump, get the dump, get the dump. She makes a little step and up the line, and with Howard in space. speed and size. 3 goals for Howard. USA 6, Japan 3. Nice shot from Snyder. That's 3 assists from Snyder too.
She's having a great game so far.
2 of those throws going to Howard. The other one going to Georgia Bosher. Traditionally, Team USA, represented by Fury, has been known for their junk defenses. And on a day like today, conditions are not good for junk D. And against a team like the Japanese, such quick, steady handler movement, not great for junk D. It's a challenge for Team USA. Do you go with what your strength is, even when the conditions in the team you're playing against say otherwise?
So far, I have liked how they've mixed it up. I would expect to continue to see them mix it up with 2, maybe even 3 different junk looks.
They're going to play a 4-person cup here. Penny and White on the mark. Damon and Casey as the middles. Snyder very active as the wing on the far side of the field. A chance for White for a D. Absolutely hammers Fujioka.
Foul called.
Great bid, but I think that we are going to see this staying with Fujioka. White saying, yeah, that's a foul. Even as the 2 of them were still on the ground. Fujioka with the disc. Inomata, Fujioka, Fujikawa.
Again to the hammer.
Namakiri on the far side of the field. Hidai not able to get the disc here. Nice thing about this zone is it does make it very difficult for Hidai to catch the disc in the middle of the field. Fujikawa does find Hidai on the sideline, and she goes deep. A chance for D. Too far. Not a great throw. I think she could have had Inomata on the far side of the field with a better throw. Snyder unmarked. Damon.
Again, the Japan defense
Snyder
up front is so soft.
Danziger. Snyder. White. Snyder. Great catch from Snyder. Finds Penny in the middle of the field. Damon. Casey. USA really running the field, not contested, but very patient. And a bad throw by Damon, gives the disc back. Fujikawa, Sameshima in space, but no one's there to finish. Fujikawa again, marking by Danziger. Backhand force. Around. Can she get there? Goal, Fujioka. Japan 4, USA 6. Great defensive stand by the Japanese.
When they really needed it.
Their legs were not there to run with the Americans, but that sagging D is slowing the American offense down just enough that it gives the Americans an opportunity to make a mistake, and they do, and Emily Damon shorts that big backhand across the field. This is a tough throw. It's 40 yards in the air to the far sideline, but it's one that's an essential piece of Fury's offense.
Yeah, and we've seen them, of course, make that throw a lot.
I think Coach Zhang wants to talk about adjusting their offense so they can put some in. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Osaka, Japan. This is Next Gen Ultimate's coverage of the 2012 WIF DIF World Ultimate and Guts Championships. Women's final, USA 6, Japan 4. Coach Zhang calling timeout to make some offensive adjustments.
You see out here, between almost every point, Japan is in a full huddle between points. And I think what we've seen in the last couple is they've made a few adjustments during those mini timeouts, we'll call them, without taking a timeout. And that started to kind of pay dividends for Japan. I think Coach Zhang reading that, seeing what Japan has done right here, really wanting to fire his D back up after USA scores this point to rattle off a couple of more.
Also, he's got to be incredibly frustrated by these wasted opportunities. Yes, the USA is sitting on a 2-goal lead. They are getting the disc, but this game could easily be 8-2. He knows that, and he knows against a great team like Team Japan, you need to use the opportunities you're given because you're not going to be given a lot. And that stung them bad when they lost in pool play, when they didn't use their early opportunities. Daryani and Damon. Snyder. Very soft junk from Japan. Damon. Fajaro. Damon still undefended. Doesn't take the yards. Bowen in the middle of the field. USA on the doorstep. Christopher.
Whoa.
Daryani.
Just cool, calm.
We saw the Japanese men play that zone. Just almost, let's put everybody deep and not really mark and slow the tempo. And it was a nice, in a given point, this defense is really terrible. But in terms of trying to break a rhythm and force a team to play another rhythm, I thought the Japanese men used it really effectively against Great Britain.
Well, and the Japanese women here use it and break Team USA's rhythm, but like a squad of assassins, they're so cold-blooded, they just work it throw by throw by throw by. I mean, there was no rhythm there from the offense, and there didn't need to be.
No.
Because they picked the right shots.
Yeah.
They hit them with technical ability. I mean, there's nothing you can do there if you're
No.
the Japanese women.
And after a bunch of undefended throws, I thought Bowen's shot to Christopher was absolutely deadly and just opened. That was, once that happened.
And then Christopher's shot to Daryani in the end zone. I mean, both of those throws.
Yeah. A lot
Technically
of
perfect.
a lot of lefties on this. Daryani, Christopher, Fajaro. It's kind of a sneaky advantage for a team to have a lot of really good lefty throwers. 7-4 USA up on Japan. Bloom to pull. Both these teams coming in really healthy. Not much injuries. The only injury note for USA is that number 33, Anna Nazarov, is nursing a bit of a back injury.
Big high pull.
But she's going to play. She's in here. She's got a tough assignment on Fujikawa. Inomata with the disc. Sumishima. Sumishima in the middle of the field. Block opportunity for Casey. Oh,
Oof, another
Casey
one.
can't get there. Huck to Idai. In pursuit. Layout from Idai. Goal. Japan 7-5.
Oof.
Lauren Casey has got to be shaking her head. And look at the bid from Idai. So much speed.
Nice grab. Nice finish.
She is a dynamite player.
She is, and you know, especially, it's almost like you can feel the Japanese offense
Starting to click.
well, and they're in any given point that they play. It's like they feel around, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, and it could be a huck. It could be a little give and go move.
But the speed on it, it's like an up and out. You know,
Yeah.
they're starting with high knees, but by the time they get in their, you know, in USA's third of the field,
They're just running.
they're just running.
Casey missing the block. Gives the open window to hit Idai.
Really technically sound layout, like everything that they do.
And a great
Those
throw.
two hands, I think a lot of players in that position would make the mistake of reaching down for that throw. It wasn't a clear, had to be huge bid.
Yeah.
She does the right thing, sacrifices her body, gets two hands on it, lays it into the end zone.
Japan 5, Team USA 7. Team USA up 2 breaks. But the Japanese offense really beginning to build rhythm after some wasted opportunities from the Americans. Ishitsu with the pull. Experienced handler line for the Americans. Snyder, Sun in the middle of the field. Bloom, Nazarov. Flip to Snyder.
Really more of just a straight zone
Sun.
here.
It's almost zone and man.
Man in the back.
Occasionally in the back. Matching up and then letting go. Snyder. Nazarov set way back. Trouble for the Americans. Nice relief valve. Bloom on the downside line. Nazarov. Jorgensen. Incredible containment from the Japanese. Snyder. Nazarov. This is exactly what the Japanese D wants, is to contain. Great throw from Nazarov to Narayan, but nothing there afterwards. Nazarov. Sun.
You can see even in this Japanese zone, oftentimes
Nazarov.
no clear mark here from spectating. They're very loose. They're not giving USA that opportunity to just be taller and throw around the mark. They're backing off.
Snyder. Goes to Sharman, but there's a defender. Ishitsu with the D. You could feel the shot building from Snyder, but she makes the wrong choice here. Sharman doesn't attack the disc. Ishitsu sneaks in and gets the block. Break opportunity for Japan, working out of the vertical stack. Idai isolated, Narayan on the defense. Mori. Namakiri with the disc. Mori. Huck. Nazarov on the weak side. Great D by Anna Nazarov. That long run out, I think it's just because her back hurts so bad she doesn't want to stop. Snyder. Narayan. The overs are here for the Americans to take if they can find them at the right time. Snyder.
The trick
Son,
there as well
great
is going
shot
to be
to the
that
middle.
throw has to come down so quick. It's more of a blade than it is a
but
hammer.
that's the one I'm talking about,
Right.
and that's for 5 yards. Jorgensen to Bloom on the far side. Sumeshima in pursuit. Idai, Bloom, Sumeshima with the D. Again, the U.S. taking a shot, not necessarily the right shot. Bloom, a great defender. I like that shot if you're throwing to Howard, if you're throwing to Narayan. A big body. But
Lanky.
if you're going to hang that up there, though, you want a different matchup. And again, Team USA, those shots are there. It's just the 2 that they've taken are not the right ones.
Right timing, really.
Yes. It's exact same set from the Japanese, different sideline. Idai defended by Narayan. Dump to Idai. Looks off Modi. Finds her, Modi. Defended by Nazarov. Modi, far side. Snyder with the block.
Nice block. Alex Snyder breaking off, picking off the disc halfway between the thrower and the receiver.
Using her size. Finds Sun. The Japanese stay in the zone. Snyder. It's going to be patience versus technique. Sun with the blade to Nazarov. Idai with the D. And I think Nazarov shaken up, nursing that back injury.
She got torqued there a little bit on that play.
Great D.
I just don't think Nancy Sun saw Hirai. I think she was looking deep.
Yeah.
And didn't figure that on that blade that someone would come up almost from even with her to pick it off.
But the choices, the shots that the Americans have taken this point are all ones that give the defense an opportunity to close.
Yeah.
Take a shot over, but take one that's short and fast and gives the D no chance. Great D from Narayan on Idai. Sharman on the dump. Idai sneaks in. I think
Stall
Jorgensen's calling a stall. It's going to be a contested stall.
Sharman on Mori, too. Like, just wonderful handler D here from Team USA.
Idai and Morty, the two Japanese captains, short options. The big huck, Sun there in defense. Sun. Damon. Sharman. Bloom. Takes a shot to Narayan. Sumeshima, or Ishitsu again, second D this point for the deep D from Japan. Fourth bad choice by the Americans. There are people open all over the field. Again, reaching on a 30-yard throw gives the Japanese defender time to close and get the block. Fujikawa, Hirai. Sharman can't get there, Mori. Great D by Narayan. Jorgensen on Fujikawa, Mori. Far side, Idai, great throw. She's got a shot, not gonna take it. Inside to Mori. Snyder, great D on Ishitsu. Jorgensen on the mark. Idai looks inside. No, they're now Idai with the disc, defended by Narayan. The Japanese offense moving. Inside. Ishitsu, can she get there? She does. On the doorstep, marked by Snyder. Japan for the break, Idai on the spin move. Nice D by Narayan. Dump to Idai. Looks to Fujikawa in the middle of the field. Modi open for the far side. She gets there. Break, Japan, 6-7. And the Japanese leaning on their stars. Ishitsu with the big catch. And then it's Idai, Fujikawa, Mori around the horn for the goal on the far side of the field.
That inside out paying huge dividends here for Japan.
Yes, and a key piece that the USA wanted to stop. Here's the goal to Modi. Great catch. As awesome as that piece of Japanese offense was, it's sloppy choices from the Americans. 4 turnovers that point, and all 4 of them essentially the same turnover.
And in the chess game right now that is this final, Japan making an excellent adjustment to go to that zone and slow down the USA offense. When USA has been at their best, it's been with running handlers.
Yeah.
When Japan can bring that zone up front, which isn't that dissimilar from the fold-up zone, but that zone in the back.
It's just testing the patience.
It's testing the patience. And USA right now.
Which is crazy because Team USA is so patient. And I could see maybe the first turnover like that. But 4 of them? Japan. Chance to break again. Different handler set for the Americans. Fajaro, Damon. Damon shorts the throw. Layout D by Japan. Chance to tie. Mizukami with the disc. Fujioka. Marked hard by Howard.
Foul called.
And a foul. Mizukami. No mark. Oyama. There's a travel called. We're coming back to Kobori. Kobori unmarked as Alicia White is poaching in the middle of the field. I think we'll see her check down and mark. Oyama wants to go inside, can't get there. Sameshima Moe, inside out. Great throw, Kobori can't finish. White on the mark. Sameshima, far side, Otsu. Break, Japan, tie game, 7-7. We're back on serve. You call a timeout here if you're Coach Zhang.
I think I do. 2 breaks in a row. Japan has made great adjustments, and we see him, in fact, call the timeout. He wants to huddle up his players and just make first and foremost, within the circle of their team.
Otsu for the goal.
Nice swing goal. Within that USA circle, he needs to rally the troops. And you know Maddie's doing that right now.
Right now,
I think he wants to make a couple of key adjustments and talk about that patience if they see the zone again. Clearly, USA needs to, and I believe will respond with patience.
3 things that I'm surprised about. First of all, the lack of patience. We've covered that a ton. Secondly, though, there are 2 adjustments that Coach Zhang wanted to make against this Japanese team. The first was to change the way they're defending the handlers, to not give up the inside out. On those 2 breaks by Japan, it's the inside outs to handlers moving up the field that open the offense.
And I would say, though, the beginning of the game, they were doing much better with
exactly.
that. I think just a little, you get moving, a little bit of fatigue sets in, and you lose track of some of that.
And the second adjustment that he wanted to make was to go to the sidelines and not down the middle of the field where the Japanese defense is sagging. And on that layout D, we saw Damon try to go down the middle of the field, and there were only 1 Japanese defender got the block, but there were 3 of them there.
And a big fake maybe opens up tons of room on the sideline.
The sideline was open.
Yeah.
7-7, USA, Japan, in a game that was all USA early. Some wasted opportunities through the middle part of the half. Japan now hitting on all cylinders, has tied the game at 7s. Kobori to pull. For the Americans, Snyder, Fajardo, Howard, Damon, White, Bosher, Bowen. A D-line from the Japanese. Irai, Fujikawa, Fujioka off the field for this point. Fajardo, nice pickup. Snyder, great move. Great use of the lefty. And she's reaching for Alicia White. Can White get there? Oh! She
almost had it on the second effort, too. Great run by Alicia White.
And I think she surprised herself. Went a little harder for that disc than maybe she needed to. Drops it. Kobori with the disc. Vertical stack from Japan.
Despite the miscue, we saw much better offense there from Team USA.
And a great lefty backhand from Fajardo. Oshida from the front will go into motion. Great space throw from Kobori. Puck right away. 2 Japanese runners in space. Great catch by Ikeji. Ikeji, marked by Fajardo. Oshida. There it is. Ikeji for the goal.
3rd break in a row.
7. Japan, 3 breaks in a row, and the Japanese offense is rolling right now.
Really interesting to see from the Japanese defensive offense when their stars are not in.
A really different look.
Well, they go to 1990s stack.
The space
ultimate.
throw to Oshida.
They throw the space, but that was in my mind, that's an audible play, no question.
Yeah.
The space throw to the runners going away. The offense, clearly everybody knew what was going to happen before the defense does.
Great
Boom, boom,
great
goal.
catch up by Ikeji, and the goal. Just winning the cone.
Just winning the cone.
Team USA really on the back foot now.
On the back foot, but I think the adjustments that they're making are starting to do well for them. Alicia White doesn't come up with that disc. It's a good throw. It's run out of good offense. They're finding kind of the softer parts just behind the Japanese handler defense by having Alex Snyder moving into those spaces with pace. If they want to attack this Japanese defense, whether it's man defense or that soft man defense or even that zone, USA needs to do it at pace with their legs.
A mixed line for the Japanese. They've got Nishitsu, the big, deep for them. They also brought in Sameshima Moe, the handler, and goal scorer Sameshima Sachiko. If they get the turn, look for the Sameshima, either of them going deep. Looks like it will be man from the Japanese. Great matchup in the middle of the field. Ishitsu on White. Snyder checks it in on the sideline, right away to Finney in the middle of the field. Dariani on the downside. Hucking to Fletcher, defenders there. Dariani with the foul call. Argument for Mizukami, but Mizukami saying it's not a foul. Dariani saying it is. Disc coming back. Even with the foul call,
tough throw.
I don't like that choice. Lots of defenders in there. Yes, Fletcher's got the height advantage, but
she's starting from a long ways away, though, with a truncated end zone behind her. That thing has to fall into a 5 foot by 5 foot box.
Finney. LaRouche. Snyder. Finney. Around to White. Ishitsu on the mark. LaRouche. Offense is going to reset here. Finney. Damon. Can't find White. Finney. LaRouche right on the doorstep. Great long swing offense from the Americans. Snyder looks for Finney. Looks for Dariani. Traffic. Swung in space to Damon. LaRouche too far into her cut. Snyder across the front. Dariani on the inside out. Boom. That is a tough spot for defender Mizukami. Dariani to the middle, to the cone, to the middle, and with that Alex Snyder forehand inside out.
Through that deep point by the Japanese, I felt like they went away from what has been really working, which is a little bit more of a sluffy,
like a
poachy,
1.5.
And they were really hard on USA, and I think about halfway through that point, USA said,
we can like run.
Finally.
We can run and get what we want.
They're just going to guard us.
Yeah.
And you saw their offense towards the latter half of that point just click, 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 click,
Those
click,
big runners. LaRouche gets 2 big gainers. 8-8. This is point for half. Big D point for Team USA. They will be pulling to start the second half. In a way, this one's almost worth 2 for the Japanese. I'd expect to see real star power lineup from Team Japan, going back to their base O-line set, and we do Ito, Fujioka, Inomata, Irai talking to her team. For the Americans, a big lineup. Narayan, Penny, Desmond. A lot of size out there for Team USA. A young handler set with Finney and Sherwood, the veteran son, to anchor the line should the Americans get a chance.
And this might be the first minutes we've seen Desmond.
This game,
This game. She's played a lot in this tournament. Big lane cutter, competent thrower.
First year out of college, played for California.
And they're bringing her in as just a gnarly defender to try and shut down one of those matchups.
She's going to be on Namakiri, number 12. Primarily kind of a deep fill cutter for the Japanese. Narayan drawing a tough matchup on Idai. Inside out right away, Narayan missing a chance for a block. Finney on Fujikawa. Fujioka. Sherwood getting tested. Inomata up
Point for
early,
half.
up strong. Halftime, Japan. Too much space from Sherwood.
And not one of the classic ways that you think of Japan necessarily hurting you, from the sideline to the sideline, over the top. That's a kind of jump ball that USA would really like to see
Love
through
to
the
have.
rest of this game. Sure was just not close enough to make a really decent play on it.
That whole play by Japan is set up by the out-of-bounds pull. They're able to bring the disc in. They can take a look at the D. Fujikawa in the middle of the field can isolate Idai, get her on the inside out. Once they get that 15-yard inside out to Idai in the middle of the field, everything else flows so
just in
beautifully
motion.
off of what they're doing. First half action. Team Japan does take half on USA, 9-8. USA was up 2 breaks early, not able to capitalize on some sloppy play from the Japanese. Japanese offense really gets rolling, goes turnover free from about 6-4 USA onward, takes half 9-8. For everyone here at Next Gen Networks, Lou Burris,
Chase Sparling-Beckley.
will be back for the second half of the women's gold medal game. Welcome back to the second half of the women's finals here in Osaka, Japan. Team USA trailing Team Japan 9-8. The Japanese offense is hitting on all cylinders.
They really are, and they are so deadly, in particular
With this
game,
inside out.
with the inside out throws. They use great technical fakes, but USA defenders almost releasing inside, feeling like they've got that window closed, and the Japanese are so willing to throw to a tight window on that inside out from the handler cut going up the field, on both the flick side and the backhand side right there.
And it just opens everything.
It just opens everything. Once they have that power position with the disc in their hands, they're looking downfield with a defender on their back. There's just so many available shots for them.
Team USA to pull here to start the second half. This game is shaping up a lot like the Fury Uno game that decided the gold medal in Prague in 2010. Japan taking half, really holding on throughout most of the third quarter, and USA using their size and their intensity to win that game at the very end. That's the script Fury wants to write on this game. Sun. Fujioka, very soft D from the Americans, returning the Japanese their own medicine. Inamura. Fujioka. Inamura. Nice containment for the Americans. Fujioka. Casey finally gets her poach block. Nazarov. Sun. Defended by Ishitsu. Nazarov. Jorgensen. Nazarov. Poaching from the Japanese. Narayan. No mark. She's got Penny. 15 yards out. Great downfield deep from the Japanese. Nazarov. Soft mark from Idai. Casey. Defended by Fujikawa. Back to Nazarov. Jorgensen on the far side. A lot of confusion for the Americans about how to deal with this soft D from Team Japan. Nazarov attacks into the inside. Jorgensen to Nazarov. Don't you want those handlers for the Americans to attack inside that?
I just want to move in. I mean, you saw Nazarov have to run a long way, but she gets positive yards
there it is.
Just from her movement.
That's the attack that we're talking about. And then Sun attacks. Back around to Casey. She's got Jorgensen on the high side. Now it's Jorgensen with the disc. Goes to Penny. There it is. Break. USA to start the second half. 9-9.
We saw that patience from the USA defensive offense that we had seen at the beginning of the game. This time it doesn't fail them as they get closer to the end zone. You got movement from the handlers.
Nazarov and Sun attack, and that creates openings because they're moving their defenders out of that weak side space and allows some clarity to the Fury offense. As long as those handlers stay sitting in location and just take those swings back and forth across the field, the Japanese can just keep playing like that soft kind of cup look. But when the American handlers get out and run, even when they don't get it, they're moving those poaching defenders.
And it really is, from Japan, it isn't, I mean, it's a poach or a junk, I guess if you want to call it that. It's not a zone. So
No.
if you can move, they're forced to cover you.
Yes.
They're forced to cover you.
I call it 1.5. You're on your one, and then you're doing
half duty on
the rest of the field.
So if you're the one, reduce that 1.5 to 1. I mean, make them guard you man on man.
Make them guard one, exactly.
And then Fury, you know, you're talking about that handler work up front. I totally agree with you. But once everybody downfield is moving, the same kind of availabilities happen. And you saw Liz Penny guarded one-on-one, just overmatching her defender.
Yeah. Cone, middle.
Boom.
The Americans giving the Japanese a little of their own medicine on defense, sagging and then getting the block from the sideline on the throw up the middle. Fujikawa. Inamura. Fujikawa. Zone from the Americans. Inamura. And the trap, nice hammer out of the trap. Idai. Danziger comes up to mark. Japan out in space.
And Fury's in person defense now.
Sun on the mark. Namakiri. Bosher with a chance for D. Can't get Idai. Idai marked by Danziger. Fujikawa. Inside out to Idai. Wicked.
Wow. It's as though Fujikawa saw Hirai coming around and knew where she was going the whole time, but had the presence of mind to throw fake.
Yeah, to get the opening.
The
USA missed a chance on the sideline when Namakiri caught the disc on the sideline.
And Bosher was right there.
And, well, Alicia White is playing as the point in that zone. And she moves casually to get the mark on. It doesn't get there and gives Namakiri the chance to say, uh-oh, here comes the trap. And then she can throw the hammer out of it and break the D. If White sprints to that mark and gets that mark on, there is no way that Namakiri can throw that hammer over White. And that would give the Americans an opportunity to get to create a real nasty trap situation it's knowing when to run. You can't run 100% all the time when you're playing in the front of a zone. It's just not possible. But knowing when to run opportunistically and say, hey, this is our chance.
That's the trap. Let's hit it.
Let's hit it. Let's go. Japan 10, USA 9. Japan on the back of that run to end the first half has claimed the serve on this game, so they are up 1, pulling to the Americans. Fajardo finds Snyder. Boscher. Fletcher. Ladder to Snyder. She's got Howard. Doesn't take the shot. Now she finds Howard in the middle. Snyder. Howard just staying with her. Another inside out from Snyder to Boscher. Fajardo. Snyder. Boscher. Fajardo. Inside to Fletcher, coming off the cone.
Nice inside out backhand there.
Sumeshi Misachiko making a little bit of a mistake there and get that lane back to the middle of the field.
Again there, I love the pace of the U.S. offense. They're forcing the Japanese defenders to play them one-on-one because they're constantly moving.
Yes.
If you're just content to sit in your set, really whether you're a handler or a cutter,
they're going to play 1.5 on you.
They're going to play 1.5 because they can see where you are and then turn their attention elsewhere.
10-10. USA to pull here. Bringing in an enormous line. Snyder, Danziger, Penny, Narayan, White, Damon, Gorlin. I mean, when Emily Damon is the short one on your line, that's a big line.
That's a big line.
For all that size and power, Japan definitely going to counter with quickness.
I would wonder, though, if we see that same sloughy up front
set from
almost a taste of Japan's own medicine there from USA. It's maybe a great option when you have the quicker thrower, but the big take up space marks on the handler set.
Fujikawa, Irai, defended by Penny. This is going to be junk from the Americans. Narayan in pursuit, trapping Irai on the sideline. It's a 5-person trap from Team USA. Swung out to Inamura. Namakiri. Inamura, back to Fujikawa. Irai. Shitsu. Penny with the trap. Irai coming up the sideline. Inside, nice throw from Irai. Irai. Ito. Irai.
And there's a call here. I think it's going to be a travel several throws ago.
Comes back to Inomata, or perhaps to Irai. That loose cup from the Americans giving Japan so much room to operate inside on those little chipping passes.
And where that cup, and where I think a lot of cups get hurt, is if your handlers are willing to just outrun it.
Yeah.
And the defense doesn't respond, you're toast.
Namakiri, Inamura, Fujikawa, nice throw to Fujikawa. Namakiri. Nice defensive work by Liz Penny. Ishitsu. Irai. Fujikawa. Great collapsing D to contain the offense here. Inamura. Irai. Namakiri. Inomata. The zone still on for the Americans. Irai. Patience by the Japanese.
Such patience.
Such great adjustments by those interior defenders for Team USA. But now the Japanese are running on the doorstep. Inamura. Narayan, nice mark. Back to Irai. Going around. Ishitsu. No one there to finish for Japan. Fujikawa. 5 yards out. Reaches. Finds. Namakiri. Gold. Japan 11-10. Great poise against some really excellent defense from Team USA.
And you said it, Lou, earlier in that point, before the goal. Great adjustment by USA. I was surprised to see them stick with that zone, but they do, and they make great, like, just fantastic
Damon
adjustments
and Ryan
on the
in
inside.
particular on that interior of that defense.
Taking away, I mean, really trying to force Japan outside. At the very end, Japan, such poise, such patience. But in the end, I think a little bit of fatigue in a intense zone point from Team USA. Japan's runners get free coming through the handler spot.
And despite how well the Americans did to contain the Japanese, they never generated any scary moments. There was never a moment where I was like, uh-oh, here comes the turn. Contribute a lot of that to the tempo of that Japanese zone offense. They're not holding it 6, 7 in the stall count. If they don't have something right away, they're moving it. It's the best way to beat a zone is to just keep it moving quickly, and they're moving it for advantage up the field if possible.
And across the board, great throws, really comfortable with the disc, very technically sound throwing abilities from the Japanese players.
Some big players in here for the Japanese on D. Irai and Ishitsu in. I think we might see some junk from the Japanese. Ishitsu well off the disc here. It never really seemed like she was going to pursue. A 1-4-2 from the Japanese. Now it collapses. Great job by Nazarov to find Sun. Nazarov into the interior. Sun. Scuba to Boscher. Lots of choices. Finds Howard. Daryani wide open. Oh!
Nice grab by Daryani.
That had turnover written all over it.
Namakiri, I think, is just shaking her head,
like
feeling like it was a down throw anyway, but she should have laid out for that one.
And Daryani catches that on the trailing edge coming back at the disc. Maybe just wanted to get that good left hand on it. Left-handed player. Great adjustment. Wow. Nice catch.
Nice catch.
Doing Georgia Boscher a big favor. I like the look from Boscher, though. Really kind of a little bit of a miscue between her and Daryani. Daryani kept moving away from that open space. But
I'm not totally sure what Daryani felt like she was
gonna get
seeing. Yeah, where her cut, she might have even just been saying, broken play, I'm going to go to the back of the stack and set up our zone offense. There was a ton of space there, but the angles weren't super pretty.
No, and Namakiri with it. Really
a chance. Just missed a chance.
11-11. USA, Japan. USA not really having any trouble with that zone. Inside the cup, inside the cup, inside the cup. Big scuba in the still day. 11.
Really nice scuba to get the break.
Snyder in on D with the pull. Inamura to Fujikawa. man from the Americans, but sagging. Damon on Idai in the middle of the field. Sinacro. Narayan lets Fujikawa get free. Far side to Fujioka. Defended by Finney. It's a forced middle from the Americans. Namakiri with the disc. Finney steps in and marks. Idai somehow gets free, and the Japanese are running. Fujioka too far. Can we get it? Fletcher couldn't get there. On the mark now, on the sideline. Fujioka with the disc. Too easy.
Goal, Japan.
Ito with the goal.
There's a moment there that Fletcher maybe
Had she been a little early.
a little early, but
Some confusion on the D from the Americans. It looked initially like it was straight up, and then it shifted to forehand. Not a great defensive point for Team USA.
no, and Fujioka really able to show great concentration there, finding the sideline, knowing where the defensive pressure was going to come from, and reeling that disc in. Sometimes as a receiver, when you have multiple different factors that you're taking into account, I mean,
Sure, it's easy.
as you know, as an announcer, you call that, oh, hearing the footsteps, but there's just so many factors there that she's trying to place. Great concentration.
Japan 12, USA 11. Team USA very relaxed on the line. Faharo and Bosch are joking around. Kubori with the pull. Sun. Boscher. Howard. Great D by Abby Christopher. Just a great physical presence. Bowen with the disc. Bit of a bump. Bowen's going to call for the stoppage. Pretty unconventional set by Faharo. Set straight back and allowing Ikeji really a great opportunity to poach here. Sun misses it. Oof. Oyama.
And Japan is
Suzuki.
off to the races here.
Kobori.
Great clamp by the downfield defenders on Team USA.
And great pressure from Boscher to
Oof.
force that dump a long way back. Some kind of call, pick.
For a moment there, that looked like it was going to be boom, 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 goal for Japan off of the turn. USA clamps down.
Suzuki on the sideline. Flanked by Kobori and Oyama. Long vertical stack from the Japanese D team. Ikeji reaches. Howard for the block. She gets there. Second effort. 13-11 Japan. Great pursuit. Great
Excellent
D
by
from
Green
Howard.
But Lord, girl,
Great
catch it.
concentration from Funabashi. And a
Tough
break for
break.
Japan.
Just a tough break on great D. And
Not a great choice.
you can't, not a great choice. But the concentration
From Funabashi is just excellent. Only the second turnover of the half for either team. One from Japan led immediately to USA break. One from the USA. Japan gets the break back. Japan now sitting up 2 late in this game. Cap's going to be on in about 10 minutes.
Again, Lou, something I would love to see here from Team USA would be that adjustment of pace from their handlers and their cutters. I think they have shown, whether it's tight man D or whether Japan is in that sluffy defense, that if they get them moving, they force Japan to guard them person to person.
Huge
Great
save
grab,
from
Bosher.
Damon. 3-person cut from Japan. Chance for a block.
Oof.
Just out of reach. Americans taking advantage of their size. Fajaro. LaRouche. Bosher.
Goal, Georgia Bosher.
Goal.
It's almost like
Bosher.
when it's easy, it's easy.
And when,
And when it's hard, I mean, and that's the point of the 1.5, or even of Japan's sort of saggy zone.
And Matty Zhang, coach for Team USA, really talking about if we can just get past that first layer of the defense, we're going to score. Yeah.
Big grab, big save by Georgia Bosher.
Fajaro with the nice lefty shot. Here's the save from Bosher. Wow. Great grab.
Oof. That's about an inch off the turf there. Big play.
13-12. Japan up on USA. USA needing 2 breaks to win here in this game. The defensive line. Clancy, Sun, Penny, Casey, Sherwood, Sharman, Jorgensen. For Japan, Namakiri, Fujioka, Irai, Inomata, Ito. Inamura. Same 7-on-0 we've seen from the Japanese the whole game. Team USA trying different combinations to try to find a way in to get a block in what's been an incredibly clean second half.
Will they go back to that zone?
Fujikawa, Fujioka, Fujikawa, sagging man, Inamura, Fujikawa, the Japanese content to swing it. Casey drops off, inside out to Irai, Penny defending Irai, Fujioka. The Japanese swinging but taking yards, and they get the inside out to Irai. Can she finish? Inamura. Looks inside out again, finds Irai. Penny just able to contain it, but she goes around. Ito. 14-12. Inside out to Irai, driving this offense.
Liz Penny did a great job to cut off Irai's first move up the line there, but she's so persistent. She just kind of threw a little spin move in there.
Comes right
Liz
back to
turned
it.
around, gets that inside out, and again, when she's moving through that seam,
your footwork has to be so good and in a way so unconventional for what North American defense and North American teams do. That little tiny bit of hesitancy is the only window that she needs. 14-12. Japan up 1 break on Team USA. The Americans going with a very big lineup. Snyder, Christopher, Damon, Fajaro, Howard. Sensational game today, 3 goals. The big runner, LaRouche. Dariani. The Japanese with a D line. They bring in Sameshima Moe to anchor the handler line, but they're leaving a lot of their stars on the sideline right now.
You know, something this Japanese team doing as well, a little bit of gamesmanship or game management. They're well past their time limit on this pole, and USA doesn't seem to be calling them on it.
Damon, defended by Sameshima. Misses. Turnover USA. Second tough throw from that sideline to Damon. Christopher can't save it. An opportunity for Japan to go up 3. Kobori to pick it up, marked by Fajardo. Vertical stack from Japan. Look for Oyama to go up the line, defended by Dariani.
I think this is gonna be a called play. This is audible play call time from Japan.
They bring Otsu down off the sideline.
USA defends it well.
Oyama. Kobori. Great bid from Howard. Oyama with the disc. Back to Kobori. Looks off Otsu. Ten yards out for Japan. Yoneada to the sideline. Sameshima defended by Damon. Foul on Damon. Yonehara versus Christopher on the front cone. Tough spot for Christopher. Really 3 places to defend: the cone, the inside, and the back corner. Yonehara using, I think, a hand signal to call it. You see her put her hand up on her head.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe signaling. A lot of teams use little hand signals to call for a particular cut or maybe a particular location. She spin moves to the back cone, but Japan's going to work it around. Oyama throws to the far side. Snyder!
Great D, Alex Snyder.
Too
Dariani
many
got
pivots
away
by
with
Oyama.
one there.
Snyder with the disc. In trouble. Faharo. Just strong. And she's going to rip it to Dariani, defended on the backside. I think that was just a case of too much adrenaline.
Too much adrenaline.
And Otsu gets away with the bobble, fouled by Dariani. After some really clean play throughout this half, this point's been a little bit ragged from both sides. Dariani. LaRouche with a chance for a block. Damon on Sameshima. Kobori. And a Haka floater. Advantage Americans here. Howard, Christopher. It's a lot of size.
Not only that, but there's a lot of bodies in there, I think, with
that many bodies, you can't jump, and it usually goes at that point.
It's just the person with the biggest reach.
Yeah.
Or people, in that case.
Snyder with the disc. Christopher poached. The lefty finds LaRouche down the sideline. LaRouche having a great game, just chewing yards for the Americans. A lot of energy from her. Finds Snyder on the reset. Snyder looking for Howard. I think Dariani gets.
Oof.
I think Dariani's going to call a foul here. It has a pretty legitimate case. Oshida just flattens her right there.
I think Dariani saw the throw maybe a little off, wanted to adjust. Defender's just a little late on the play.
Yeah, it's coming back to Snyder. I think the defender thinking, you're not going to catch that. Sends it back. Fajardo on the poach D, though. Great step in D by Sameshima. Otsu. Sameshima on the goal line. Can she bank her D? Oyama. Blocked by Howard. Huge save for the Americans, folks. The game is capped. The game is capped. Will be +2 after this point. Howard's going to take a sub, and Boscher is coming in. Calls timeout. Incredible action, folks. Japan up 14-12. Back and forth game defensively here. Georgia Boscher coming in for the injured Cree Howard. Takes timeout. Folks, we'll be back for the conclusion of this game after word from our sponsors. Live from Osaka, Japan, it's Next Gen Ultimates coverage of the 2012 WIFDIF World Ultimate and Guts Championships Women's Final. USA up against the wall, down 2. Snyder. Fajaro. Cutters very deep for USA. Back to Snyder. Boscher underneath. She's got Christopher going deep. Takes Daryani in the middle of the field instead. The lefty. Runner to Boscher. Daryani running the field. Nice switch from the Japanese defense. Snyder. Sumeshima checks down, slows the throw to Christopher. Christopher reaching for Daryani. Daryani fades. Too high. Break opportunity for Japan.
There was another situation where you saw tighter person defense from the Japanese D. I'm really surprised Fury couldn't recognize, calm their offense down, and take advantage of that. They love that situation.
Christopher had Damon wide open in the middle of the field for 10 yards. Earlier in this game, we did see Christopher hit an incredible forehand down the sideline.
Went for it again.
Went for it again, didn't hit it there.
Slightly different situation though.
4th turnover for Team USA this point. Kobori walking to the line. Horizontal stack from the Japanese D team. We haven't seen that yet this game. Yonehara with the disc. It floats. Mizukami is able to come up with it somehow. Kobori with the disc again. Yonehara on the far sideline. Kobori. Mizukami. Sumeshima. Mizukami. Daryani!
Oh my goodness.
Unreal. Daryani was baiting that block the whole way. Oyama, no idea what hit her. Snyder, beautiful round back into Fajaro. Comes back to LaRouche in the middle of the field. Big Redhead continues to chew yards for the Americans. Finds Snyder. Boscher on the doorstep. Fajaro, nice poach by Kobori to contain. The lefty, can she go high back into Snyder? She does. Too much power. Snyder looks to finish, poaching everywhere from the Japanese. Dump to Fajaro. She could swing for the goal to Damon, who doesn't get in the end zone. Boscher coming across wide open, in traffic. 3rd bad throw from Damon in a row. Boscher was able to save one of them. That's 2 turns on just missed throws, and there's the block by Daryani. What a play. 5 turns for Team USA this point.
And USA in another tough position. They're going to need another standout play from one of their stars here on D.
Inside out to Sumeshima. Damon in pursuit. Oyama. Sumeshima. Kobori. Japan out and running in space. Nice help D from Snyder. Yonehara.
Wonderful
Kobori.
patience here by the Japanese offense.
Otsu. Nice help poach D by Snyder, really, to contain that running offense from the Japanese. Otsu. Kobori. On the doorstep. And there's the break. Yonehara on their 5th opportunity to point. Japan 15, USA 12.
US up against the wall. The cap is on after that point. It's game to 17.
And the real advantage of that point for Team Japan, they had their second line of play, except for Sumeshima in there. Their second line is in. They can bring in their top players now for this point. Team USA
on the
with
ropes.
Snyder having to play a 9-possession point.
You see Georgia Bosher coming to the sideline. You see Damon coming to the sideline.
USA, a very deep team. They can field an incredible line here.
But Snyder's on the leaderboard for a reason. Bosher's on the leaderboard for a reason. For them to battle and not be successful puts the Americans in a really tough spot.
And to take so much time, not off the clock per se, but that point ran so long that there was so much running, a distinct disadvantage for USA.
And this Japanese crowd is loving it.
They can feel the victory just 2 points away for Japan. USA bringing in a really fast line. Narayan, Finney, Nazarov, Sharman, Jorgensen, a lot of speed. Not as much size as we saw the last point, but a lot of speed from the Americans.
And anchored from the handler spot by Nancy Sun. She's going to be the cog on this thing.
The Japanese did bring in Irai. Namakiri. Sameshima stays on. 3 O-line players in right now for the Japanese. Namakiri with the pull. Finney. Nazarov. That's sagging D from the Japanese. Fold up cup. Finney. Hux looking for Jorgensen. Turns it over. No chance for Jorgensen.
Good effort.
I like the look. Really don't like the throw.
No. USA got caught with a lot of players around the disc there. It frees up Kayla Jorgensen on the deep look, but you're having to throw that disc through a crowd or over a crowd to get it there.
Sharman on Kabori. Nazarov, nice D on the inside out look. Irai, defended by Narayan. Sameshima, Irai running the field. Steps on Narayan. Yonehara doesn't throw it. Finds Mizukiri. Now they go to Irai. Jorgensen in pursuit. Can Irai get there? Jorgensen on the layout. Irai! Japan 16, USA 12. Team Japan 1 point away from a world championship. And an incredible play from the Team Japan leader.
That's your biggest player on the biggest stage with the game on the line, just closing out.
Great help pursuit from Jorgensen. Just a step off the play. An inch short.
Incredible presence of mind to kick her toe down.
Get it inbounds.
And get it inbounds. When that happened, from our angle, I wasn't entirely sure, but you can see on the replay, she kicks her left foot down after she catches the disc. I mean, that's an unbelievable play from a huge player for this Japanese side. There's the catch.
And the bid.
And
what
the
a bid.
Kick. Big bid by Kayla Jorgensen. Just a great throw to a player with incredible closing speed as well. That disc goes up. I think most people in this stadium felt like that might be too far. Both women showing just incredible athleticism on that play.
Japan 16, USA 12. Japan 1 point from their first ever world championship. Team USA needing to score 5 in a row. The game is capped straight to 17. Snyder, Fajardo, Snyder. Reaches to Bosher. Defended by Fujioka. Bosher.
Oh my goodness.
Returns the favor and the show. And that's the deep game that USA's been missing. athlete
Georgia
in space.
Boscher, again, I mean, that was a gun from Snyder.
5th assist of the game for Snyder.
And Georgia Boscher almost able to just stand it up. I mean, that's a great layout, but her speed gets the job done right there. Nice bid. Really nice grab. Makes sure with 2 hands.
3rd goal for Boscher to go with 2 assists. USA needs 4 blocks and 4 goals to win.
They're up against it here.
Actually, they need 2 blocks and 2 goals. If they can get to 16-15,
It's a win by 2 situation.
then they just, at this point, you can't think about the full of needing, we need 4 goals.
No, you're thinking this point only.
But if you could score 2, then the Japanese really start feeling the pressure. They've been running their O-line out again and again for the Americans. Bowen, Snyder, Fletcher, Damon, Casey, White, Daryani. Base O-line for the Japanese. Sameshima, Fujikawa, Irai in the middle, defended by White. Inamura. The Japanese content to swing it against this soft handler defense of the Americans. Inamura. The Japanese start getting their handlers up in motion, and that clears out the throwing lanes. Pick called. Sameshima with the disc. Idai open for the win. Daryani in pursuit. Daryani!
And Daryani forces the turnover.
She forces
With
Idai to go up early.
incredible closing speed. 2 huge defensive plays in the latter half of this game.
This looks like the game winner. Here comes Daryani. Great pressure. Casey with the disc. Snyder. Daryani. White. Nice catch,
Nice
Alicia
snag.
White. Snyder. White. Bowen. Great block. Namakiri coming around the backside of Christy Bowen. Japan for the win. Inamura takes her time. The crowd hushed. Idai. Sameshima. Idai, well defended by White. Fujikawa, there it is. Game over! Ito!
Goal Japan.
Game, Japan, 17-13. And Japan, 2012 women's gold medalist in front of the home
And
crowd.
this home crowd is loving it. They are on their feet.
A beautiful game for the Japanese.
Team USA immediately into the huddle. They put on a show here. And in a lot of ways, it came down to inches and just a play here and a play there. Japan able to pull away.
On the back of some
on the back of some incredible plays.
offensive, incredible play from the Japanese. The Americans really struggling with what has been Fury's trademark strong suit, poise and the ability to possess the disc.
And you see the sense of just pure joy and almost relief on the part of the coach for the Japan women and these Japanese captains. I mean, they've brought it in front of their home crowd, in front of their family, their teammates, their friends, their neighbors. What a moment for Japan.
Player of the game, Chase?
It's hard for me, Lou, when you ask me this question, not to give it to Hirai, number 11 for Japan.
Yeah.
She and I don't want to sound obvious here, there are two outstanding players that captain this Japan squad.
Yes.
Mori and Hirai. It was clear to me Mori put on her game face and came and played in this game after having not played the rest of the tournament, but couldn't do it down the stretch.
Yes.
Hirai puts this team on her shoulders, makes some incredible plays late, but also just fundamentally anchoring their offense. She had an amazing game, brought a big moment for Japanese Ultimate here in front of the home crowd under just intense, possibly excruciating pressure.
And constantly drawing the #1 defensive matchup.
Player of the game, has to be. I mean, she was outstanding today.
I want to pick a different Japanese player, number 16, Fujikawa. On the stat sheet, she's not going to show up. But with the exception of that one messy point, which she wasn't in on, when there were 5 U.S. turnovers and the 4 Japanese turnovers, the Japanese really played an incredibly clean game. And in large part, you have to credit Fujikawa, her ability to control the middle of the field and the middle of that offense, get the disc and distribute, get the disc and distribute. I'm going with Fujikawa Akina for my player of the
Number
game.
16. And she had possibly more touches
Than anybody
on
else.
the field.
So we're going to take a short break here, folks. Coming up, we have the mixed finals. Team Australia up against Team Canada. This Team Canada has been trashing people. You say the line is 6 points?
You know, you've got a young and, I think, athletic Australian team here, but just the veteran players at both the college and the club level on both for both the men and the women for Canada, they're just going to be hard to overcome for this group of Australians. But
a very still day, great conditions for a beautiful offensive show from these teams.
It's going to be a big athletic showcase for sure.
So for everybody here at Next Gen Ultimate, I'm Lou.
And I'm Chase.
We'll see you in a couple minutes for the mixed finals.